Hi, I'm Dr. Steve Broskoske. All the students on campus know me as Dr. Steve. And I've been here as a faculty member since the fall of 2000. I teach in the teacher education department, and I'm the technologist, one of our technologists. I teach educational technology, and now I'm teaching educational psychology. I get to teach other classes for undergrads. I get to teach graduate classes, which I really enjoy. So we get to do many other things here too, like summer camps and just wonderful seminars, all kinds of things. I still remember my first visit to Misericordia, and I fell in love with this institution. I was here with my parents, and my grandmother was here, and boy, we just loved it. So I still tell students, prospective students to this day, everybody looks good online, but you have to go and walk the walk. You have to go there. You got to walk on that campus and see what it's all about, and you too will fall in love with it. So I was here in the early 1980s. I graduated magna cum laude in 1985, and so I went off, got a master's degree, went on for my doctorate. I started working in another institution, and then I said, I have to come back to Misericordia. And so here I am today, and loving it just as much as I did as a student. I remember some amazing, legendary faculty and staff. And these people, like, whether you had them in class, whether they were administrators, everybody knew everybody. I remember Dave Payne, Don Fries, Louis Magazine, Steve Davies, Joe Rogan, all of these wonderful people. In addition, we had so many Sisters of Mercy teaching here on this campus. And I remember Sister Carmel, Sister Sharon from the library, who also, during faculty follies, would play Billy Boomba. And she would play this boomba, and she'd be banging it, and all kind of music would be coming out of it. I remember the legendary Dr. Regina Kelly, and there was Dr. Ruth Kelly too, and I had the privilege of studying under Dr. Regina. Today we have the Shakespeare Garden named after her, but she was amazing. I didn't know I could be a writer, but she taught me that. I'll never forget one day we walked into class, and the classroom looked a little bit different then than they do now. We had an old wooden door, and she walked in, and in her very stern kind of teacher way, with her using her teacher voice, she said, "There are 3 things I find interesting about this door. Okay, that's your assignment for the next 50 minutes." Now that was amazing. So she pulled creativity out of us, and then she met with each of us individually to let us know what our talents and abilities were, and also where our deficiencies were, and then she would help us along the way. So it was an amazing, amazing time. Well, because I loved Misericordia so much, I wanted to find my way back here. It was the place that I started and a place that I loved. So I made my way into my foray back into Misericordia as an adjunct professor. So I was teaching part-time, and I was teaching technology, and at that point for the business department. So I was teaching computers, and I got to meet great people like Don Skiff and different people who are, again, our legendary teachers here from Misericordia. And then I caught the attention, apparently, of the education department. And Dr. Joe Rogan said, "We have to get you in here." And I'll never forget when he called me up on the phone. He said, "Now come in, and we're going to do an interview, because we already know you teach. You teach well," and so on. And I was honored he was saying that. But he said, "We know you, so don't put on a suit," he said. "Don't do that. Just come up to my office, and we're going to talk a little bit." Well, I didn't know he was then going to send me to the vice president's office, Sister Mary Glenn. Again, Sister Mary Glennon, a legendary person here on campus. And she kind of hit me in a different way. She gave me a hug. And she said, "You're a great teacher. We need you here. What can I do to get you here?" That was it. I said, "I have to be here, and it's meant to be." And then she would check in with me all the time. "Are you doing well? How's everything here?" And the rest is history. It's a fantastic place. It's those personalities, it's those people That's my entrance back into Misericordia. It came with no suit and an interview I didn't expect and a hug. Well, I think the word there is growth. It is just growth. I'll go back not just when I started in the year 2000, but from the 1980s. I was walking on the second floor in Mercy Hall yesterday, and there was a newer employee, and we were chatting, and I said to her, were you aware this was the library in the 1980s? And she didn't know that. Now we have this glorious several-story tall library. The science building. There used to be a road running in front of the science building, and that's where the bus would pick up various people, like one of our employees, Tom O'Neill, one of our legends here. And we'd see him waiting for the bus every day. And now that road is gone. And now the science building probably quadrupled in size. It's huge. And during COVID, pandemic, they were doing all kind of amazing things over there to even try to work toward solving that COVID problem. That's growth. There's just tremendous growth here. Within the majors, our majors have changed so drastically. In the 1980s, we were College Misericordia. And then in the early 2000s, I came as a faculty member, we were still College Misericordia. Then we changed, we grew into Misericordia University. And at that time, we had what we called divisions. Now we have 3 colleges. Huge differences. Now we've moved down the road. So Lake Street, we're taking over basically all of Lake Street. I mean that in a very positive way. We have moved along there. Now we've got sports fields. We've got this new sports dome. I mean, the growth here it's astounding. And anybody comes here who has known this school even just several years ago, just most recently, they come back and they say that all the time. We can't believe the growth here. So to me, that's very impacting, because not only did the campus grow, but the community has grown. The things that we accomplish now, the kinds of speakers we bring in, the kinds of service that we do, the number of degrees. We were bachelor's degrees. Now we're master's, we're doctoral degrees. And we see Misericordia graduates everywhere. You go to a medical facility, they're Misericordia graduates. Again, it's growth, it's amazing things that happen here, and yes, all of those things are very impacting to anyone who's been here for any period of time. What's special? It's the place. It's the place, because in this place we feel the spirit. We feel the spirit of Mother Macaulay, the Sisters of Mercy. Their presence is very much felt here to this day, and they're still very active with everything we do here. You can feel it and see it and sense it in all kinds of little things. For example, it's a welcoming, caring place. Everybody's welcome here. And we feel that through everything that we do. Everyone's welcome at church services when we have, at convocations. If someone comes onto the campus and is not familiar with where to travel, all you have to do is just look lost. And someone not only will tell you where to go, but they'll say, well, here, I'll take you there. And if you're anywhere, this is like the unwritten rule in Misericordia, if someone's within 100 feet of the door when you're opening that door, you stay there and you hold it open. That's the spirit of Misericordia.